I'm here to introduce the face of future Indiana education. Behind me are representatives of the new cohort of Woodrow Wilson Fellows and some representatives of those who have been through the quick program to rapid master's program, now ready to begin teaching math and science in Indiana schools. You've heard us now say for 3 years how excited we are that Indiana was the first state honored with this program to bring new teachers, people of proven excellence in math and science, the two disciplines that are most directly associated with economic success in this new world, into the Indiana classroom. And now, 3 years in, a very significant percentage of Hoosier kids going forward will be taught by Wilson Fellows. And I know that their effect on the quality of math and science instruction won't stop there, because the example they set and the inspiration they bring will have a multiplier effect on the other teachers around them. I'm already hearing this from principals around the state. So I want to say to Arthur Levine and all the people of the Wilson Foundation, thank you for trusting Indiana to begin this program, and thank you for the young people and not so young who this program has reached and called to do what their heart tells them, which is to spend the next stretch of their careers enriching young lives. We are very, very proud to have the program here and each of you. I'm going to ask Arthur to say a few words on behalf of the foundation. Then Katie Hughes, an emerging fellow who is about to be unleashed on some lucky children in the state. And then Charles Vaughn, a brand new fellow who's about to enter his program of master's instruction. Arthur?
Thanks so much, Governor. Let me just tell you a little bit about the fellowship. It has 2 goals. The first is to attract very, very able people to teach in high-need schools in math and science in Indiana. Second, we work with universities to develop brand new, cutting-edge, model master's degrees in teacher education. Now, we're working with Ball State, IUPUI, Purdue, and the University of Indianapolis. The group behind me are extraordinary. These are people who've been mentors and teachers. We've had thousands of applications for their positions. They come, 30% are people of color, 44% are 30 or older, 29% come from out of state, would-be or former Hoosiers. They have the kind of grades, the kinds of honors my parents only dreamed of. Behind me, there are people who've been zookeepers, college professors, police officer, state police lab chemist, software programmers, corporate engineers. One person holds 28 patents, and we also have a surgical nurse. By the end of this year, they'll be teaching 15,000 students in Indiana. In the course of their careers, they'll be teaching 450,000 students in Indiana. This program would not have been possible without a great deal of help. Today we're in 3 states, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. Indiana was our first. It's starting to feel like home. I was the only guy on my block in New York to be wearing a Butler sweatshirt during the playoffs. Above all, I am really grateful to Governor Daniels. Fact of the matter is, we came to Indiana after a good deal of research. We had asked leaders around the country in education, political leaders, Democratic and Republicans, to suggest an education governor for us to work with. The most common answer we heard was Mitch Daniels of Indiana. And we made a good bet. These days, the country is looking to Indiana for leadership, looking at the models of programs that have been created in this state. We're also real grateful to Lilly Endowment, which provided the funding to launch the program. And we've had many, many friends in this state who've been helpful to us. Tony Bennett and Marcy Brown, Teresa Lubbers, the members of our advisory committee, including David Shane, and one of the Woodrow Wilson trustees, Crystal DeHaan. We've had the presidents of all 4 of the universities, and we've had school district leaders, and we've had legislators on both sides of the aisle. We've had the unions, we've had business leaders. I want to thank everybody. Above all, what stands out for me is that together what we're going to do is make an important difference in educating the children of Indiana. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur.
Thank you.
Katie?
That's okay. Hi, I'm Katie Hughes, a 2009 Woodrow Wilson Indiana Teaching Fellow. Before I became a fellow, I was pursuing a career as a veterinarian. I always loved biology. I loved working with animals. But I also knew that I wanted to make a difference with students. And the Woodrow Wilson Foundation has provided me with the opportunity to earn an education to help me teach those students. And as this year winds down, I have found that I'm beginning to see the fruits of my labor with my students, and this has definitely been the field for me. Thank you.
Thanks for what you're doing. Charles?
Okay. Hi, my name is Charles Vaughn. I'm a new 2011 Woodrow Wilson cohort. I thought what I'd do is talk a little bit about my background experience. I've got over 35 years of operations and supply chain management. I actually worked at Kellogg's for 25 years. I'm making corn flakes, Frosted Flakes, and Fruit Loops too. As well as general manager of a corrugated packaging facility here in Indianapolis. One of the things that we found at our facility is that high performance criteria was very much in demand. And we found that our facility was one of the, in the first quartile of about 86 facilities across the United States. My education is at Washington University. I have a degree in electrical engineering from Washington University in St. Louis, School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. I grew up in the public school systems in St. Louis, so elementary school, middle school, and high school. I was fortunate enough to have good teachers that provided the guidance, direction, and laid out expectations for me. And as part of that process, they indicated to me that, well, if you do well, then that will help you in terms of your career. And it's bode very well for me. So one of the things that I've recognized, because I'm also a parent, my wife and I recognize that, you know, we need good teachers in our kids' lives. So my wife and I partnered with the teachers. And as part of that process, we were looking for teachers to partner that would lay out those expectations for my kids. And the bet for them was that if they did well, it would bode well for their career. So I'm happy to report that they both graduated from college, 2 very prestigious universities in the Big Ten. My son graduated from Michigan State with a double major in economics and finance, and is currently working as a general manager in Memphis, Tennessee. My daughter graduated from a prestigious university here in Indiana, from Purdue University, and is currently working at Humana down in Louisville, Kentucky. And one of the things, again, I recognize is that in the school systems, they need good teachers. And I found that if you develop those criteria early on with the students, that they'll learn. And if you lay out those expectations, they'll understand what it is to be successful. So I'm going to be joining University of Indianapolis next month and taking classes. And Dr. Drake and her team of professors have been working with the middle school and high schools around the Indianapolis area. And they're developing the best of the best techniques and procedures and policies that they're going to be sharing with me and my fellow cohorts. So I'm very excited to be part of the 2011 Woodrow Wilson Indiana Teaching Fellowship Program. I'm Charles Vaughn. Thank you.
I just encourage each journalist present. I think maybe the most useful thing you can do for yourselves and your viewers or readers today is just talk to some of these people in the time after. And each one of them is a fascinating story. Each one of them, who's not already, is going to be a great teacher. And this is the program that gets them into the classroom, into the schools and classrooms that need them the most in Indiana. Charles, that you just heard from, whatever moved in his heart to get him to leave a very successful career and start this one, we're grateful for it. And he'll be in a classroom before you know it, transmitting that enthusiasm and the benefit of all his years of learning to kids who really, really need it most. So thank you. We'll have any questions you have for the general order before we break.
Mr. Levine, so far, how has the retention rate been going in the first couple of years? Are you guys keeping all the members of the coworkers?
It's Dr. Levine to you. I mean, Nikki.
She really doesn't know me well enough to call me Dr. Levine. Only my mother was allowed to call me Dr. Levine. In point of fact, retention rates have been great. We have our first class in this year, and we're yet to have somebody to leave.
Yeah. So the commitment is 3 years in a school that we've designated as having special need for these teachers, and yeah, 100% so far. Let's hope it stays that way. Anybody?
Change topics for a second.
He can, but I don't know about you. Yeah, sure, Norm.
Newt Gingrich announced this morning that he's going to announce a presidential run on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
He had been one of the prime people advocating for you to get into the race. Does this change your thought process in any way?
No, I think the more the better, and I think these are all good people, and if I were to undertake a campaign, I think it'd be positive, and I hope we'd all have something to offer.
Are you getting closer to a decision at this point?
Well, the answer to that's yes, obviously. At what rate, I can't tell you, but we haven't played any games with this. I said we'd finish the legislature, which was just a week ago, and then we'd turn our attention to this and we'd give everybody an answer. And we'll do that within a few weeks at max.
Can you give us an answer today?
No.
Is your wife's speech on Thursday night going to deal with this?
No. We're going to, the new motto someone told me the Indiana Republican Party is, we have fun and we get things done. And Thursday will be a lot about having fun, which is what we have in our house all the time, thanks to Sherry.
Can you tell us what the theme of her speech might be, or just having
It's her speech.
You're not helping at all?
Yeah. She doesn't need any help from me. I mean, I think she's going to talk about the life of the First Lady, which she's never made much of a display of. But count on some smiles and a good time. And it has sold a lot of tickets.
Do you expect to have more appearances by your wife in the coming weeks, months? Will we be seeing more of her?
No. Unless you go to the state fair, in which case you can't miss her because she's there every single day. Anybody else? All right, well, do take advantage of the opportunity to talk to these wonderful people, and you'll come away with a lot of confidence about the future of our kids in this state. Thanks.